Welcome everyone. Today I wish to reveal to you the length of time that your soul can survive your physical body's death. You are not just your physical body. When the physical body expires, which if you're lucky is between 80 and 100 years on earth, other parts of you survive that death process. When you drop your physical body, we say dropping your robes, the spirit still lives. So we'll discuss quickly a few levels of your spirit. There are 9 basic levels. One is called the Ba. This part of you is immortal, never born, never died. It's called the observer, the divine consciousness or the divine spark. It's immortal. The Ka is your soul, and the Ab is your mental body. So you have your soul body, your mental body, and your divine body. When the physical body expires, the soul, emotional body, and the mental body have a shelf life. To find out what their shelf life is, we must look a little bit at astrophysics here. Visualize, if you would, by your foot, a spinning top, a kid's toy. You're looking at it and you're seeing it's teetering, it's spinning, but as it spins, it leans to the left, and then it begins to lean back to the right, then it leans back to the left, then back to the right, then to the left, and it keeps doing that until it exhausts its energy. That leaning to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, that leaning is called precession. The Earth does the same thing. It leans, in this case, let's say to the far right, then to the left, then to the far right. At the far right maximum, it points to the North Pole star. To the left, points to Vega. How long does it take to go from Vega back to Vega? How long does it take the Earth to make one giant loop? It takes 25,920 years. Okay, now the North Pole star here, and there are several stars in between, but the two left and right maxima stars are Polaris and Vega from this model. Okay, now, so we're seeing the North Pole stars changing as we go to the left, but at the same time, we see something changing at the equator because the North Pole and the equator are linked by a right angle, like an L-shape angle. So we look at what is happening on the equator during this to the left process. We have a guardian who watches that point in Egypt called the Sphinx, called Hu, which is the word for Sphinx. The Sphinx is the divine sculpture observing the stars he sees every spring morning at sunrise. Every March 21st at sunrise, the Sphinx is staring at stars rising right before the sun. Those stars define the age we were in, the age of Pisces, the age of Aquarius, the age of Taurus. So this is 2017. On March 21st, 2017, the Sphinx was staring at about 5 degrees of the fish of Pisces. And he saw certain stars. He saw Pisces stars. He saw some stars of Pegasus, which are aligned with aspects of Pisces. Therefore, the Sphinx roars to humanity. We're in the age of Pisces. In about 300 years, he'll see Aquarius at sunrise on March 21st. So what the Sphinx sees links to what pole star the Earth is leaning towards. Okay? So that's the basic physics. So the same way it takes 25,920 years to go to the left, and then back to the left, it also takes 25,920 years for the Sphinx to see the same 5 degrees of Pisces again. The Sphinx won't see this, what we see in 2017 spring. That will not be seen by the Sphinx again until 25,920 years from now. Okay? These numbers are key to how long your soul survives the dying process. Okay? So, let's do a little bit of math. If the Sphinx is seeing 12 signs in a circle called the zodiac, which is a ring, this ring here, this belt, if he sees the same sign every 25,920 years, you take 25,920 divided by the 12 signs, you get 2,160. So each age, the age of Pisces will last for 2160 years, the age of Aquarius will last for 2160 years, the age of Capricorn will last for 2160 years. Okay? So each age is 2160 years. Okay? Now, we have two key numbers, 2160 and 25,920. These are the two numbers to keep your eye on. Okay? Now, 2160, the length of an age, is how long your Ka can survive the death state. It can survive as a ghost for 2160 years. The Ab, the mental body, can survive the death of the physical body for this number, 25,920 years. Okay, this is the real value of these sacred numbers you've seen a lot perhaps in astrology or in sacred geometry. Now, your soul can last 2160 years. Your mental body, your mind can last 25,920 years. Okay, so this is only true if you have enlightened and cultivated the energy, the ashe of your soul and of your Ab. If you've done no spiritual work to cultivate your soul and your mental body, it will last a couple of days, a couple of weeks, a couple of months, a couple of years, a few decades, a century or so. It will not have endurance. And if it does endure, it may be at a very low quality of being a spirit or a ghost or a presence. If you want to last, to let your spirit bodies endure, so that when your children do rituals to your tomb, to your tombstone, to your sarcophagus, and they invoke your Ka, the ghost or the spirit of their grandmother or so-and-so, if they keep feeding it, it allows that spirit to endure longer. But the way to really ensure longevity is to do spiritual alchemical work while you are alive. This is the function of spirituality, to make your bodies endure longer, to give you Ankh, which is eternal life or as eternal as possible. Okay? Now, I want to mention some of these angles very quickly. If an age here is 2160 years, and there are 30 degrees in a sign, you take 72 degrees. The Sphinx sees every 72 years 1 degree, because 72 times 30 would be 2160. 72 happens to be the average length of a generation, what they call a generation. Like the first generation, second generation. The mathematics used to calculate generation lengths is the number 72. Okay, so the Sphinx sees every year these signs click backwards 1 degree. So 1 degree happens every 72 years. In 2 years, you get 144 years. Okay, and so on and so forth. So 72 is a major subset of 2160. Okay, 72 is the number of years of a generation. Okay, so every 72 years of someone's birth, if there's someone in your family 72 years old, that should be a very major celebration because that person marks a generational marker in your bloodline. So we do very big ritual birthday ceremonies for people in our family who is at 72 years old. You want to do those ceremonies to acknowledge that this generation marker has happened and that it may strengthen this person's ka, their spirit, their soul, because if you strengthen your family line, you become stronger over time. That's how you build empires, by making strong family lines. Okay? So, in astrology, the 72-degree angle is called a quintile. And if you have two of these angles, you get what's called a 144-degree angle called a biquintile. And it so happens that the beautiful image of the star, this is the Egyptian word for duat or star, is filled with 72s. Half of 72 is 36. So you want to also do a big birthday celebration at 36 years old because it's half of a generation. That that generation that person represents, he or she is halfway at the halfway point of the generation marker. So the 36th birthday is a big deal. Okay? It so happens in astrology, the great year of Saturn, of Harukapet Saturn, is between 35 and 36. It's called a great birthday. You have 9 great birthdays. Okay? So you want to celebrate your generation at 36 for having gotten halfway there, and definitely at 72 years old. And this star has this sacred geometry of these numbers, the numbers of the soul. The soul's number is 2160, yes, which has 72 as its base, 72 years times 30 degrees. So this is how you become a star. You know, people say we're from the stars, we're linked to the stars. This is the metaphysical understanding of what that means. So, one key thing about this ratio, look at the numbers very quickly. You see 36, which if you add becomes 9. 3 plus 6 is 9. 7 plus 2 is 9. You have a 108-degree angle here. You have a 36-degree angle at the tips, the outer tips. You have a 72-degree angle here at the base of these triangles of the stars. You've seen these numbers before. 108 in Hinduism, 108 beads to count. 72 years for generation. Okay? These are all sacred numbers. And when you look at the sacred geometry here, it's what's called the phi ratio, the golden ratio, meaning, I'll explain it very quickly here. This short line is to this longer line. So from, let's see if we can do it here. From here to here, so this is the shorter line, let's take this line from here, this segment A up to 72. This shorter line is to this longer line A, as this line from here to here is to this longer line here. There's a harmonic ratio between the angles, the length of the lines in this symbol of the pentagram, or the pentagon, yes? So this harmonic and this golden ratio is the key to all growth. It's a growth harmonic. Growth of what? Of the consciousness of your soul. So that's why it's key to look at these numbers of how long your soul lasts, which is 2160. But we look at 72. 72 years is a major marker. 108 is a major marker. 36 is a major marker for every person's birthday, for the survival of their soul. Now, finally, I want to say why we pick this number 25920. This number can vary in real time. In real astronomy, it can be somewhere between 24,000 years to 26,000 years. But as a king priest, I had to decide which number. Should it be 24,000 years, which I find there is power there? Should it be 26,000 years, 25,920,000 years? Which one is the one to pick? To answer the question, I had to look at science. Here's an interesting detail, which will help you realize why I picked this number out of other variables within a range. Every day you breathe, when you're basically resting, the average number of breaths per day is 18 breaths per day for any human being. 18. Note 18 is half of 36. Note 18 also reduces to 9. 8 plus 1 is 9. 3 plus 6 is 9. 7 plus 2 is 9. 108, 1 plus 8 is 9. So we're seeing this 9 is key to birth. It takes 9 months in the womb, and the soul evolves spiritually in the afterlife in functions of 9. Okay, but we also breathe at 18 breaths per minute on average each minute in a day. There are 1,440 minutes per day. Look, 144 again here. So if you multiply 18 breaths per minute on average times 1440 minutes, look how many breaths you get per day. 25,920. The same length of time of the precession of the equinoxes or the pole. That's why I decided on this particular number in the great precessional cycle, because it links to the human breathing pattern, the human birth cycle of 9 months. And this 9 base becomes very key in prediction and in sacred geometry. So, in sum, your Ba lasts forever. The Ka lasts for 2160 years. You want to celebrate and emphasize immortalizing the Ka to its maximal shelf life when you are 9 years old, functions of 9, 9, 18, 27, 36. Those functions of 9 are big turning points for developing your soul to survive the afterlife. 72 is a major one as a generational marker, and that the Ab lasts for 25,920 years, the same number of breaths you take per day. In the end, these souls can be forever if you purify them through ritual, ceremony, and alchemy, so that at death the Ba absorbs their imprint, not the actual body, but their programs. The Ba here can record and absorb their programs like an external hard drive. But if they're dirty, the Ba will not absorb them. The Ka and the Ab will dissolve quicker. If you're a nasty person, if you've not been spiritual, not developed yourself, it'll dissolve very quickly. And the eye won't allow dirty things into its program. It views a dirty soul and a dirty mind, an impure soul and impure mind, as a virus in the program, and it will not absorb it. This you know as forgetfulness, meaning when you reincarnate, you will forget all that your soul learned and all that your mind learned. You got to start from scratch again. This is a horror story to the Egyptians. That's called the second death, dying the second death. You don't want that. It's really, really horrific. It's like going back to first grade every year. You forgot what you learned through college and high school, and you got to redo the classes. So that's why you must develop yourself spiritually. That's why I have these chakra classes, to begin to help you to, through alchemical exercises and enlightened consciousness, to develop your soul, to purify it and perfect it, and to strengthen these souls in the body here, so that at death, the divine self will absorb the programs of your soul and of your mind and not view them as a virus. And it will activate its antivirus software and eject the absorption of these programs, and you become forgetful. Okay? So that's it. This is the secret to it. Do enroll in the chakra classes. They're monthly classes. You can sign up here at this link. They are very, very powerful classes. It's deep spiritual teachings, and it really can change the course of your life. So, may you be an immortal soul. May you have excellent programs to absorb into eternity, into your ba from your Kanab. And may you not die the second death. Long live the Ankh of all of your spirit bodies. Long live eternity. And may you remember, keep your head up, because why? You are a star. Dwawend Hotepu.